How's it going, YouTubers? Nightmarecon here. I'm back with another toy review, and today I'm back with another oldie but another goodie. Today I'm reviewing Transformers animated Lugnut. Now, Lugnut in the cartoon, if you guys remember back then, he's actually one of the biggest Decepticons aside from Megatron. He was definitely one of the biggest cons out there in the cartoon, and his jet mode, as you can see, is a excuse me. He is. I think it's supposed to be a World War II bomber. I think. Well, it could make sense because he does have some bombs, some big bombs out there, and not to mention he is armed to the teeth, kind of. He has turrets in front while flying. They can rotate pew, 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 up and down. They can do a 360, but it gets this gets in the way. The main body gets in the way. But he also has some two turrets right there. Can also do a 360. Pew, 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 pew. As he's flying, looking for some Autobots to shoot. These are articulated, so he could you can position them any way you want. And especially if you have some Autobots with you, he can shoot these down. He can shoot them out of his way, especially for a so he is pretty big for a Voyager. In jet mode, he's pretty big for a Voyager. Probably not as big as the other figures in the line, but since it is obviously a 2008 figure, the plastic quality wise, though, very nice and hefty, very solid, and got some weight to it. Unlike today's figures, which they're made with cheap plastic and they're getting more expensive. Voyagers back then used to be $20 when the Bayverse films hit the screen, and when the Bayverse film came, the first Bayverse films, and when the animated came by, Voyagers back then used to be $20, and deluxes, I believe, depending on where you would get them, deluxes used to be around $8 to $10 back then. Now, Voyagers are $30, or more than $30 now, and they're also not that big. They're not this big either. And the plastic wise, cheap. But I managed to snatch this guy for a good price not too long ago. And to be honest, I am not regretting it. It is so good back then. He does roll pretty well. He does have some landing gear. And there's 360 of Lugnut. He is mostly purple. I'm not sure what kind of color, what to call this color. It's definitely not blue. It's not green either. But on the wings, he does have some Decepticon symbols. Hang on a second. Should be fine now. He's definitely pretty good for a Voyager for jet mode, you guys. Definitely pretty big. Robot mode. Ooh. If you guys remember, he is not as big in robot mode. But still a really nice figure. Nonetheless. So he's supposed to be a World War II bomber. And he is mostly purple, aside from the red and black and yellow that he has on his bombs. Supposed to be like, what? Take caution! But other than that, still a really nice figure. Now, let me get some figures for comparison before I transform him, because I don't really have much to say about jet mode. Here's Lugnut next to Prime, Voyager Prime. He's definitely larger than Prime in jet mode. Well, wider than him, yes. Here he is next to Blixwing as a jet. Now, Blixwing has a sticker. This Decepticon symbol is a sticker. And I'm going to give some to Lugnut. I just need some more. They're on the way right now, though. So, when I get the Decepticon symbols, I'm definitely going to give Lugnut some cartoon accurate ones. As you can tell, these are gold. Blixwing also had a gold symbol, but not accurate at all. I didn't care for it. Here it is with Blixwing again, but as a tank. There's also a sticker for anybody curious. Here he is with Shockwave. Redgar, who he actually does encounter later in the episode. I don't know why it's not. Now again, Redgar is incomplete. That's how I got him, but it's okay. At least I have him. And here he's next to Shockwave, but as Long Arm. Purple Long Arm now. Shockwave is a tank in the cartoon. Long Arm is like a Cybertronian crane. Alright. Now let me get Lugnut transformed, okay, you guys? Just trying to show you this real quick, you guys, but when you transform Lugnut, when you put this piece down, it shows an automorph. That would be the head coming out, and these, as you just saw, would fold out like that, but I think this one's stuck. But that's basically the automorph when you lift this up. See? And another one, if you want to call it an automorph, is bombs become, when you put these forward, when you bring them forward, it reveals his arms. And there you have Lugnut in robot mode. Now, in robot mode, oh my goodness, he is very short. And also this piece, which was the back piece for the toe part. That becomes his weapon. When you put it on one of his arms, however, see there's a little hole right there. See there's a little tab there? When you put it in there, he does hold it on pretty well, but when you see this little piece there, when you do, hang on. When it hits that ground hard, there you go. It becomes a weapon, of course. It's supposed to be like some type of axe, I don't know. But it's definitely one evil Decepticon, one you don't want to mess with. And that Lugnut is one of them. For articulation, he can do a 360 on the arms. Hear that ratchet? Figures, you don't hear this on figures. They don't have these ratchets anymore. From what I know, from my knowledge. He can do a little over 90 degrees from the elbow. A little over 90 degrees. Same thing with the other arm and with the weapon. Well, the weapon can do that. Kind of like an automorph, sort of. He can do a soccer kick. Whoa, he could. Goal! If you bring it out like that too much, it would do that. But he can still do a soccer kick. Goal! Energon Soccer. Now, Lugnut. Oh, yeah, look at the detailing and his eye. Definitely show accurate. He has one big eye in the cartoon. Kind of like Shockwave, yes, but he still has an actual mouth. Unlike Shockwave, who only had one eye, like Shockwave did in G1. Lugnut, however, he still gets an actual face, just without an eye, just without a second eye. But overall, Lugnut, this version of Lugnut, really nice figure, you guys. I definitely get him. Oh yeah, he can do the splits. He can, I don't think he can do I think he can do a little over 90 degrees there. Kind of. But overall, still not a bad figure. Still really nice. You can't really get him in many poses because of the weapon. And his head doesn't move. but he's still one bad robot, one badass robot. Sorry about my camera quality. But overall, Lugnut's still a really nice figure, you guys. Really nice figure, especially for a 2008 figure. He definitely has some weight to him. He may be short in robot mode, but quality-wise, still very nice figure. Especially with his weapon, jet mode being armed to teeth. Definitely one dangerous Decepticon, you guys. Especially for the Autobots, because he is huge. He is really huge. Now it's time for some comparisons. Here he is with... Yeah, a second, let me get him. Saying correctly. Right? Here he is with Long Arm. Now Long Arm is definitely shorter than taller than Shockwave as Long Arm. He's still taller than Lugnut, but not much. So here's Lugnut next to Long Arm. Here's Long Arm as Shockwave this time. The true form of the figure. Yeah, if you guys remember, Lugnut was taller than Shockwave, so it's definitely not in scale. So yeah, Lugnut is pretty short for Voyager, you guys. Very short. You guys remember a scene where he tried to prove to Megatron that Lugnut was his favorite Decepticon, or favorite commander. Basically his loyal Decepticon, basically. And Lugnut tried to prove that to Megatron near the end of the season. So there was actually a scene where these two were together. And he was still taller than him, though. As a figure, ooh, that's another story, you guys. Yes, Voyagers aren't this big anymore, nor are they this hefty anymore. This is about the size of our Voyagers, maybe a little bit smaller, maybe just a bit, but not much. But yeah, but quality-wise, still nice and solid, you guys. Still nice and solid. That's enough of Shockwave. Here he is with Optimus. Yeah, of course, none of the figures are gonna scale with Lugnut here because, guys, remember, Lugnut was pretty big in the cartoon. Definitely not in scale with Prime. Unless you have the activators or the Deluxe Prime. I don't know about Deluxe Prime, but if you have the activators, you could be in scale with them. But here, this is how he looks like next to Optimus. Here he is with his buddy Blitzwing, since they do partner up in the cartoon. But, again, not in scale with Blitzwing. Now, don't get me wrong, Blitzwing was a triple changer, but the jet mode he took wasn't as big as Lugnut. Also, jets are bigger than tanks. But this, a little hilarious, I will admit, though. But still, pretty good figures together, nonetheless. Don't get me wrong, Blitzwing is pretty awesome. And he's like, oh, Lugnut, look. I'm taller than you. Ah! That's what kind of reminds me with that jack-o'-lantern face I have with him right now. He's like, hey, I'm taller than you. Yeah. Aren't you supposed to be taller, Lugnut? Especially since you're a World War II jet. Hey, that's for making fun of me, Blitzwing. Yeah, that's what that jack-o'-lantern face made me think of right now. Lugnut defeated Blitzwing for teasing him of his height. Yeah, so hang on, let me get one more figure to compare him with, and that is here is Lugnut next to Wreck-Gar. Yeah, definitely, of course, not in scale with Wreck-Gar. Wreck-Gar was like, I don't know, to like right here, shorter than Lugnut in the cartoon, I'm guessing, but can't remember. All I know is that Lugnut was pretty big in the cartoon. but definitely not in scale. But so anyway, here's a 360 of Lugnut. It is hollow out there. It is hollowed, but that's because of transformation. And people complaining about figures nowadays. Not only are they not decent, I mean the quality wise of the plastic, they mainly complain about the figures being hollowed. This is a 2008 figure, you guys. Hollowness has already been a thing since then. Before animated even existed. In G1, hollowness has been a thing since G1, you guys. There's nothing new about that, you guys. Even before animated, it was already a thing, you guys. Hollowness, also on 2008 figures like this one here. It's been a thing since day one, you guys. Before that, since G1, it's been a thing, you guys. Even animated had hollowness back then. Nothing new there. Okay? So quit complaining. If it was Stan. Come on. Yeah, I know why people are complaining. I don't blame them. Don't get me wrong. The quality of our new figures nowadays aren't as solid as these ones back then, but I don't see why I have to complain though. As if you have them just to display like I usually do, it's not a big deal, you guys. Just make sure you keep it safe away from your kids because they are pretty fragile nowadays. The plastic is cheap and they're not as big as back then, the figures, and they cost more money than before. What used to be a $20 deluxe is now a a $20 Voyager is now I want to say $33 Voyager now. Voyager are now $33 around there, and they are a bit shorter than I want to say about this small, since this guy was already small for a figure back then. Really short for a Voyager back then, but still quality wise amazing. Unlike today's figures, cheap and fragile, I will admit, you guys, but still a very nice figure. Oh yeah, you can also do a 360. I forgot to show that off. You can also say, hi there. I'm going to kill you. That's what it could be like. Oh Lord, man, whoa. Oh, he could block his view. Oh, that's what it could do. He can do that. You can hear those ratchets, huh? That's one thing figures nowadays don't have. But Lugnut, like I said, he may be short, but still a pretty good figure, you guys. Especially for an animated fan like me. Still really good figure back then. If you can find Lugnut for a decent price, I definitely would say pick him up. He'd definitely be worth your money. If you can get him for, like I said, a decent price, pick him up. If you see now the color version might be a little more expensive. The purple on that one, it's a bit shinier, a little metallic. If I am gonna be honest with you guys, this one and the color version don't seem too different. However, Lugnut, he does have the actual painted eye, and he does have his actual cartoon accurate symbols. Now this one I am gonna give him cartoon accurate symbols. I'm just waiting for them to arrive. But other than that, it's not a bad figure, you guys. A really nice figure from back then. Especially for us old school fans like me. So, like I said, if you can find Lugnut for a decent price, please pick him up. He'll definitely be worth your money. Especially for TF animated collectors. Pick him up, you guys. If you can get him for, like, say, maybe no more than, $50 or $60 if cause I think he's going for now, I think $100 now, $70 now, but wow, that's a lot. But if you can find him for a decent price, despite it being a 2008 figure, if you can get him for a decent price, I say pick him up. Trust me, you guys, he'll be worth every last penny, especially because of the quality of the plastic. That's gonna be it, you guys. Hope you enjoyed my toy review of Transformers animated Lugnut. This is Nightmarecon, rising up.
Those accursed Autobots will pay for their insolence. Right. Cash, check, or charge. Attack! Great. What kind of attack would you like? Thumbtack? the Autobots myself.
Would you like to